Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Like the title says, what is my goal at the moment? If you were guys have asked me this a couple of months ago, I would probably say I'm not sure what's my goal, what's next for me in life. For those of you that have been keeping up with my content, I have muscular dystrophy, and for a while my goal was like the last couple of years to be exact. My goal been, getting my degree in college as a Spanish interpreter. I did graduate from my local community college and I was attending the university just a couple of months ago, but my disability and other factors were making it harder for me to continue my journey on getting my bachelor degree now because I already got my associates. I was trying to get my bachelor's degree. So, yeah, so when I decided to stop going, I think I hit somewhat of a dark time, dark place in my life. I feel like starting having mental health issues. So that's what I said, like somewhat of a dark place because it wasn't like serious mental health, like depression, anything like that. But it can be seen like for me, it's seen like it was a dark time. I was in a dark place, somewhat of a dark place. Like I was saying, it wasn't that bad, but it was kind of bad, but it wasn't like that serious. But still, it felt like all those years of working hard, trying to get the degree, everything went downhill. Honestly, that's how I felt at the beginning. That I probably didn't fail in life because that was like the only thing I had in life. That's how I saw it. Like maybe a lot of people who have muscular dystrophy or a disability, the affect that affects them, daily. They have struggles that we all go through behind closed doors that probably a lot of people don't know when you have a disability and stuff like that. So I did feel like I failed. And then I started YouTube, for those, like I mentioned, like for those of you that have been following my content, I've been posting videos. But I didn't actually have a goal in mind when I started, honestly. I just wanted to create a channel where I can post my hobbies and my disability. Like my hobbies are sports and gaming, and then I could talk a little bit about my disability. So I mean, I was just doing it because I needed something to do with myself. Like school didn't work out, and I didn't have anything else that I can look forward in life. So a good friend of mine suggested I start my own YouTube channel, and I did. But it seemed like I was just posting at first, just to have something to do, honestly. But as the months went on, I started posting, a little bit more. Actually enjoying posting, not just posting because it felt like I needed to do something with myself. I felt like maybe posting, sharing stuff about my disability, sharing my story on how I have lived with this disease, disability, or however you want to call it, talk about like not just my disability, talk about the struggles people who have muscular dystrophy, especially muscular dystrophy, or any other disability, because there's a lot of struggles, when you have a disability. A lot of people, family, friends won't understand because a lot of things happen behind closed doors, like the struggles. You might seem like you don't have a disability, like in my case. It doesn't seem like I have like a really bad disease, but only I know the struggles that I go every day, you know. So now in present time, I want to create videos, not just, posting about my hobby like you guys seen that I post various things on this channel, my hobbies and my disability, but I want to share, the struggle behind the disability, People just assume like what struggles people with disability go to. Society just assumes things as well. Like, feel there's a lot of things that could change to help disability people with disabilities in society, you know. So yeah, so I feel like that's my goal. Like, I won't call it educate people on with disability, give them like what you may call it, knowledge. I'm not trying to educate people or change their mind. Everybody thinks differently, everybody sees things differently, give them somewhat of an understanding, knowledge, how it is living with a disability, especially muscular dystrophy. Like, that's my goal. Like, at the moment with the whole YouTube, share my story, maybe like making this video will help a lot of people understand, people with disabilities, You might go to, school with peers that have a disability, but you just not used to interacting with people with disability, And maybe when you guys watch my videos, you know, might help you, have a little bit knowledge about muscular dystrophy, seeing that it's not a disability that affects, mentally. You're just like everyone else, wanting the same things, So yeah, that's what my goal is, like maybe give people knowledge about muscular dystrophy and to try to treat people with disability like a normal person. Like I was saying, maybe you go to high school, you have peers that go to your class that or have a disability, and you don't know how to. You're like never been around people. You don't know how to interact with them. You know, maybe that person with disability wants to have a conversation with his peers, but he feels that that he won't get accepted because of his disability, or the other way around. Maybe there are peers that want to talk to your peer who has a disability, but you don't know how to approach him, or you don't know what to talk about and stuff like that, or just treating people like differently from people that don't have a disability. Or you go to college, you have maybe a classmate or a peer, like I was saying, however you want to call it, has a disability. You don't know how you know how to ask, like, without being rude, asking about his disability, or just how having a conversation, because you might be like, what if I say something wrong? What if the person I offend the person? I understand that. Like, I mean, if I'm around people with disability, I don't treat anyone with a disability differently. I try to get to know the person, and that's like Like they say, don't judge a book by its cover, but I feel like a lot of times we do that with people with disability. So that's what I want to do. That's my goal, like with my whole YouTube thing, give people knowledge, talk about the struggles, about disability, talk about how society see people with disability. Not everyone, there's people that will treat you equally, but a lot of people don't. And talk about accessibility. There's places that it's not wheelchair friendly, wheelchair accessible. You know, there's a lot of struggles that people with disability go through, especially muscular dystrophy. So that's my goal. Like, I thought I'll make this video talking about like what's my goal at the moment. You know, like I said earlier, I was in a dark place a couple of months ago, but now I found a purpose again. I made a video talking about, the struggle of finding your purpose. I found that already. What's my like telling my story maybe can help a lot of people with disability, maybe I'll inspire someone with disability not to give up, you know. And yeah, I know people will, when you have a disability, people will be like, you're an inspiration and stuff like that. But I feel like people forget the concept of an inspiration. I feel like inspiration would be like, for me, would be like when I graduate from a community college. I feel like that can be an inspiration for other people because if you have gone to college and don't have a disability, you know the struggle, you know the workload, you know everything you have to do to get to graduation when you're in college. You understand that. Imagine when someone with a disability has to struggle more. They have more struggles. I feel like that's inspiration. Okay, you're showing like other people with disability. If I was able to graduate, or if I was able to achieve this, you are able to achieve that as well. But a few people be like, you're an inspiration just because you drive a car and you have a disability. I don't see that as inspiration. I feel like people misuse that. Inspirational will be like you overcoming the odds and maybe finding a career, getting a job. Like, you don't see a lot of people with disabilities, having a job and stuff like that. Or don't be like, oh, you're an inspirational story just because someone, you know, got a relationship with somebody by their disability. I feel like that's not inspiration. That's a normal thing that every human being, if you have a disability or not. So that's what I want to make with this video, inspire someone to not give up because of their disability. Like I was saying, I feel like people misuse the word inspiration. Inspiration was like the example I gave. You beat all the odds to graduate from community college like I did, or you did something, you accomplished something that was never done. Maybe you're a successful businessman despite your disability. I mean, like, I have to be realistic here. You don't see a lot of successful people with disability, do you? Do you guys? Or, people, I don't know, working like at jobs, you don't see that often. Like, someone with a disability, it's almost like rare things. I feel like that's what I'm trying to do, inspire people not to give up. Find something that they can be good at and that their disability won't affect it. That's my goal. Like, at the moment with YouTube, talking about anything, any topic that I feel like it need to be discussed about disability, you know. Making this video got me thinking about other videos that I want to make. Besides my gaming sports video, I want to like, inspire people, be an inspiration for people to be like, you know what? Maybe I didn't graduate from college, but maybe I can start YouTube, talk about my story, share about my experience, maybe help someone. Maybe I can, give people knowledge about my disability, Maybe I can, not educate people, like giving them like an understanding why, how is it living with this disability, Because a lot of people, they stereotype people with disabilities, you know, in a lot of areas, you stereotype. So I want to make videos, talking about my disability, sharing my story, and yeah, that's my goal at the moment, Do it as long as I can, make as many videos as I can. Hope that I do inspire some or help someone, That's my goal. And my next video, I'm thinking about like talking about accessibility in colleges. Yes, I feel like colleges lack a lot of resources to help people with muscular dystrophy or with certain disabilities. So I'm gonna talk about that. I did make a video talking about my college experience and stuff like that, but I wanna focus myself on that video, talking about the lack of resources in, you know, community college, a 4-year university and stuff like that you know, tell a little bit about my story, how the lack of resources made me not go to school anymore and stuff like that, And what can colleges and universities do to change that? You know what I mean? There's a few ideas that I want to talk about, that I hope colleges and universities, put those resources, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of resources, but I feel like when it comes to disability, they lack. There's not a lot of resources to help people with disability. I mean, there is, but not like it's supposed to be, like to help them succeed. But anyway, that will be in my next video. But I thought I'd just give you guys a preview of what I'm gonna be. What can you expect in my next video? And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button. Until next time.